If you're looking to beat Grandmaster Warden of Nothing in about 13 to 15 minutes per run with super easy loadouts and a super easy strategy, then you came to the right place. First things first, before we start talking about what loadout you'll want to bring, let me show you the modifiers so we know what we are up against. We have Overcharged Rocket Launcher, so any rocket launcher you bring will automatically get a 25% damage buff. This will not stack with the weekly surges, which are a Void Surge and an Arc Surge, so if you are bringing a rocket, you don't really have to care too much about what element it is. We do have all three types of champions in this Grandmaster Nightfall, although we don't have a whole lot of overloads. You'll see how that impacts our loadout when we get to selecting what we're going with. And then we, of course, have overcharged weapons. So if we have a weapon that matches a seasonal artifact mod, we will get overcharged for that weapon. That's going to be very important when we look at our first weapon. We have Outbreak Perfected. I recommend all three members of your fire team bring this. It is a fantastic anti-barrier weapon. We've got anti-barrier pulse rifle, which means that it will receive a 25% DPS buff in Grandmasters because it has a seasonal artifact mod. So make sure to bring that. That's going to be your anti-barrier champion busting weapon, and it's going, just generally speaking, it's going to burn down any tanky target, can rip through the Hydra shields because it has anti-barrier. It's fantastic. And the secondary slot, I'm loving the Indebted Kindness because, as we saw, we have an arc weapon surge going on this week. And this also has Unstoppable Sidearm to deal with our unstoppable champions. Doesn't really matter what role you have on this. I love them with Volt Shot, but it's not that big of a deal. If it has Volt Shot, it means you can stun overloads with it as well, so it's kind of dual purpose, which I like a lot. But it's not the end of the world, because there's only like 3 overload champions in this strike. So you really only need, like if you're on Warlock, you can bring a Bleak Watcher turret. The slowing from that will easily take care of them. If you're on a Hunter, you got Withering Blades, you got Dustfield Grenade, you've got your Winter Shroud. 3 different ways to slow. Super simple. So much so to the degree that I'm not even going to be bringing Dustfield Grenade. I'm going to be bringing Grapple instead because I personally prefer it. I find it more enjoyable. If you want to be a little safer, you can go ahead and bring Dustfield Grenade. It's up to you, but there's really not that many overloads, so you don't have to spec into them too much. We're much more concerned about the barriers and the unstoppables. As far as weapon slot number 3, everyone is going with a rocket launcher. Like I said, it doesn't matter what the element of it is, because for this week we have overcharged rocket launchers. So whatever rocket launcher you bring, it's going to get a 25% DPS boost. So element doesn't matter at all. I like something with Bipod, Envious Assassin, something like that. Something that's really ammo efficient for the GM. Something that can hold a lot of rockets in the chamber. This is going to be awesome. This could be the main way that we're bursting down the boss. If you've ever done this Grandmaster Nightfall, you know that bursting down the boss at the snap of a finger is very important because that boss room is borderline impossible to survive. So we definitely do want to one-shot the boss. As far as playing into that goes, as a hunter, I'm going with Tether. But I think my other hunters that are rocking and rolling with me, I think they're both bringing Nighthawk. I think Nighthawk is a spectacular choice for the strike, even though we don't have a Solar Surge. It's great for one-shotting that boss, great for one-shotting any champion that you run into. I'm just bringing Tether to debuff the boss because I know that we have Nighthawks. If we had 0 Nighthawks, I would probably switch off of Tether and go Nighthawk myself. But other than that, your class composition doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters when it comes to selecting your subclass loadout is that you have at least one tool to slow enemies so that you can help stun overload champions. As far as Hunter Supers go, Shadow Shot or Golden Gun Marksman with Celestial Nighthawk are going to be spectacular if you're going with Shadow Shot. I've got Inmost Light Sword Arachne. Your exotic armor piece really doesn't matter if you're on Shadow Shot. You can really run whatever you want. It's completely your choice. If you're on a Warlock, I'd probably recommend something like Cataclysm Nova Bomb to align with the Void Surge. Just make sure that you're off to the side of the boss when you throw it, because Cataclysm Nova Bomb has collision. You don't want your teammates shooting their rockets and having them blocked by the Nova Bomb. It'll do spectacular damage to the boss and help you one-shot him, but you don't want to screw your teammates over in that regard. If you're on Titan, probably go something like Thunder Crash or Twilight Arsenal, but it's kind of up to you. It doesn't matter too much. In terms of our mods, I came a little bit ill-prepared. Definitely want a Kinetic Siphon for the Outbreak Perfected. We're going to go heavy Scout and Finder. The gloves mods, it's kind of up to you. I'm going to go with a Kinetic Loader. You can kind of run whatever you want, whatever plays well into your build. As far as resistances go, I would go at least 1 Concussive Dampener. I'm going to go 1 Solar Resistance for the boss damage. I'm going to go 1 Void Resistance because there's a couple of Hydras in here and Overload Minotaurs that all do Void damage. So we're going to go that for them. As far as the boots go, Scavenger mod aligning with whatever your rocket launcher element is. As far as our surges go, I'll probably swap this up to kinetic weapons, or maybe 1 kinetic, 1 Void, so I have a Surge for my Heavy, and I have a Surge for my Outbreak Perfected. And then down the class item, it's whatever you want. I'm going Reaper, Powerful Attraction, Bomber. I'm actually going to swap Powerful Attraction. We'll go Time Dilation instead for the Surges. But it doesn't matter too much. Most important things that you have Outbreak, Indebted Kindness, or something that can stun Overload champions, and a Rocket Launcher, and some sort of burst on your team somewhere. That's what really matters. But none of this matters all that much if you don't know the strategies to make this strike super, super simple. So I'm going to show those to you right now. There's a couple of tricks that I have to make this faster, to make it easier, specifically when it comes to the room immediately after you defeat the large tanky Minotaur. I've got a couple of tips for you that make it a little safer for the area with all the trains that are coming back and forth. I got a couple tips for you for the mines room to make the mines room borderline impossible to screw up. I think that's what's going to trip a lot of people up. So hopefully all the tips that you learn from this guide will aid you in that regard. We're going to start the strike off. Just got a couple of goblins. Take them out. And by the way, if at any point you're watching this video and you think to yourself, this seems kind of helpful. If you want more helpful videos, those like and subscribe buttons, those help you, those will help guarantee that you see more of these helpful videos. Just a thought. So we're going to start out here. There's a little explosive canister right there that I recommend you blow up just to make sure that an enemy doesn't hit it while you're pushed up here. We have our first Overload champion right here. This is going to be the only Overload champion that we deal with for a while. Again, like I said, none of us have any Overload weaponry. We just had Withering Blades, Dustfield Grenades. You can use those. It makes things pretty easy to kill those Overload champions. That's why we're not really worried about speccing into them with our weaponry too much. We'll then come over here, hack this thing. If you want to save a couple of seconds, you can run around to the left side of the train right after you hack it and run past. You don't have to. It doesn't really actually do anything of value all that much. But we're going to continue through here. Plink away at all of these ads. Make sure we're chilling in the sides. Make sure we don't get hit by a train. I'm going to wait for the second train to pass right here. And then we're going to slide right on down here. I don't really care about those enemies. And before I jump down here, I'm going to make sure I plink away at that goblin. And make sure I keep an eye on which side the train is coming from. The trains will always alternate left, right, left, right, left, right. So you can keep that in mind to make sure you safely venture across this area. So there's on left. Once we get down here, we'll go ahead and plink away at the unstoppable Incendior. We'll use our sidearms to get that stun on him, and then we can nuke him with our outbreaks. And then, as you can see here, since the outbreaks have anti-barrier on them, we can shoot right through this Hydra shield. It's like it doesn't even exist. The beauty. Makes it super, super simple. So we're going to continue on. Keep making our way down here. Do have to be a little careful here because this train likes to cross quite frequently. I'm going to make my way and cross over into here. We got a barrier hobgoblin that we're stacked up against. Outbreak perfected. We'll take care of him very nicely. And then once I get to this section, I love to jump on top of this, whatever you want, this rail line, and I like just running across it. It makes it literally impossible to die during this section. I know a lot of people typically will go sparrows for this area. You have two goblins that you'll have over to your right side, but if you just run across the rail, like, it's impossible for anything to touch you, which I like. More safety, the better. Do you lose 5 seconds, 10 seconds? Maybe. I don't know. But I feel like that's well worth it. Try to LFG-proof these strategies to the best of my ability. So we're going to end up here, stun this unstoppable Incendior, melt it with the outbreaks. Once again, these outbreaks, since they have anti-barrier, they go through any type of shield, including phalanx shields. Now we have a barrier Colossus. Don't want to get too greedy with my peaks because he's blasting me, but once we get the shield down, yeah, Outbreak is the gun this season. It's fun to use too, really satisfying, in my opinion. So we're going to continue on forward. This part you want to be a little careful about. We got an explosive canister right there that we can use, but you got some hobgoblin snipers in the back that can be a little dangerous. Keep an eye out for them. fun fact as well, when their hobgoblins are in their little fire mode, anti-barrier weapons can shoot through their fire mode, where, you know, typically they're immune. Anti-barrier weapons can blast right through that, same way they can blast through Phalanx shields, Hydra shields, all that jazz. We're then going to kill the Hydra. We're then going to peek up just a little bit. There's going to be a barrier hobgoblin that will come out on this ledge, and we're going to absolutely shred him. And then we're going to peek our heads over to the left side of this piece of cover and find that we have another barrier hobgoblin that we are going to absolutely shred. I'm trying to be a little careful here because I am a little weak in the HP department. 2 sniper shots will kill me. There we go. He is dead. I think we had a teammate go down. But that is the order I like to do that in. Hydra in the middle first, right side barrier hobgoblin, and then left side barrier hobgoblin. This little piece of cover is a godsend to play as well if you have the Hydra dead. If you don't have the Hydra dead, then the splash damage will hit you from around here, and the Hydra will absolutely nuke you. So that's why we killed that Hydra first, so that we're then allowed to push up safely. You don't have to worry about anything. So we'll blink away at a lot of these goblins. I like to try and push up a little bit here. I like to play this little balcony. When you are playing this balcony, however, one of these Minotaurs really loves to run past and make his way around, so keep an eye out for that. Looks like we do have the boss that has come out. I'm going to pre-place my tether because I know he's going to teleport right here in the middle. And then this is where I love to rocket this guy down instantly. Also behind me, that Minotaur that I was talking about. We bursted the boss down quickly enough so we didn't have to worry about the Minotaur. But this Void Minotaur that hangs out right around here, he loves to make his way. He likes to kind of hide right here and make his way around. And then come around here and get behind you. So just make sure you have someone on your team keeping an eye out for that. Don't want him to surprise you too much. But the boss Minotaur, you'll see the shield will go down as it just did right there. He will always TP right there in the middle first. So that's why I like to pre-place that tether, have my rocket ready, instantly one-shot him. Guys like that. Get through super quickly. We're currently 6 minutes, 30 seconds into the strike, and we have like 3 rooms left. It really is that quick. So we're going to get up here, play from a distance. The outbreaks are going to do what the outbreaks are going to do. We got an explosive canister right there. Blink away at everything. Here we have 2 unstoppable champions. I like to stay back here and kind of lure them into me because there are some Scion snipers that are up on the balcony. You can kind of see his legs right there. So I don't like to push too far into this room because I don't want to deal with those snipers. So I do like to bait these unstoppables to walk in a little bit. There is one more. I'll show you that sniper I was talking about. There he is right there. Those guys are a real pain. So we're just going to stun that guy with our unstop. Blink away at him. Looks like we're going to need one more stun. Wait for his antlers to burn off. And he is dead. And if you have anyone with invisibility capabilities here, once those 2 champions are down, you can have someone run over here and just sprint past everything else. You'll still get platinum. I like having the grapple grenade a lot for that as well. But as long as one person gets up here, it'll automatically pull your other 2 teammates up. So that's why you're allowed to do that. You can probably make it past there as well anyway, even if you don't have invisibility. But invisibility, of course, just makes that safer. Once we get up here, we're going to play around here to this left side, take out that Scion Sniper that I just killed. First guy I like to take out here is the Overload Minotaur. So we're going to try and dust him off. Maybe even use a rocket or 2 on him just to make sure that he doesn't get that HP regen. After he is dead, I like to take out that Unstoppable. So we're going to go ahead and play towards him, back up a little bit because we are going to bait him into us. After the Unstoppable's dead, we're going to keep maintaining the same angle, and we are going to go for this Barrier Colossus across the way. I'm going to let my teammates spawn a shield and get that stun since I'm a little weak. I'm going to move to the left a little bit here so that Hobgoblin no longer has an angle on me. Once he is dead, we can go ahead and take care of these 2 Barrier Hobgoblins. Now here is where massive tip number 1 comes in when it comes to the mines section. When you capture mine A, you automatically spawn mine B and C. All the mines spawn with 60 seconds. If they hit 0, they all explode. Everyone dies. What I like to do for this room is I like to spawn camp the barrier hobgoblin that's going to spawn right here. And I like to pretend like mine A doesn't even exist. I want to intentionally not capture it. Because I know the second I capture it, I spawn B and C. So if I just leave it alone, I'm giving myself a bunch of extra time to melt all of these champions. We melt that barrier hobgoblin as it comes out of the door. Then we can change our focus to this unstoppable incendior. That's going to run out at us. Both of those champions are dead. Nice and easy. You also are going to want to keep an eye out. There's going to be 3 goblins that will spawn behind you. As long as you keep an eye on, you know, play this wall kind of. You don't really have to worry about them. But we still got 30 seconds left on mine A. So we had double the time that we just took to kill both of those champions. Kill all these enemies. Kill all this trash. We had all that time. And when we step on it, the timer pauses as well. So you can literally, like, let it go down to 3 seconds if you want to. But that's why I like letting A just chill. And take my time focusing on these guys. Now, once we capture A, B and C are going to spawn. My teammates are going to stand on where B is going to be. Because that way, right the second that B spawns, we can instantly start capturing it. I'm also going to make my way over there. And just like that, you're going to instantly capture B. You basically get the entire time to focus exclusively on C. And all of the enemies that would have been contesting you on B are already dead because you killed them while the A mine was alive. After you capture B, I like to come up over here to this balcony and try and deal with this Overload Minotaur. My teammates actually stunned him from range and took him out. But alternatively, you can kind of come around here, bait the Overload Minotaur. He'll walk up like this. Makes it super easy to kill him. You can use rockets. And then as a team, we'll converge on C. You can use supers here as well if you'd like. There's pretty much no enemies on here, however. So I'm not really concerned about that. On occasion as well, you will spawn an extra overload champion. I've noticed. I don't really know what triggers his spawn. But I'm told that you don't actually have to kill him, and you'll still get platinum. And it's been my experience that that is the case as well. So you don't actually have to be super concerned about killing him, so don't worry about it. Right here, I'm going to use my tether on this central area. That guy just completely ate my tether. Ideally, it would have been right there and clumping everything up in that pack, but it is what it is, I suppose. But I like to drop it there because it would have absolutely eviscerated every single enemy that would have spawned. This guy would have died in 3 seconds. Not that he's really staying alive for particularly long anyway. But you get the idea. We should more than easily have our supers back by the time we get to the final boss, so that we can have triple super to absolutely one-shot him. And there's a way that we can make it so that we can effectively AFK at the final boss before we get him to spawn, if we are still low on super energy. So we're done with that mines room right there. Make our way down here. Open the good old chest. We're gonna float on down. And I know a lot of people like to use the strategy of sitting back to deal with all 4 champions. I'm not a huge fan of that. Find it a bit cumbersome. I'll show you how I like to deal with these guys. Step 1, Overload Minotaur. Step 2, Unstoppable Incendior. Step 3, Barrier Colossus. Step 4, Barrier Hobgoblin. You'll see how it plays out. So we really want this Overload Minotaur to be cooked. And I'm perfectly fine using rockets to cook him, because he is that important. And he's kind of annoying because his health regens. The second he's dead, all we care about is the Unstoppable Incendior. So we're going to stun him. Absolutely melt him. He's dead. Step 3, we now care about the Barrier Colossus. He's significantly more lethal than the Barrier Hobgoblin. I'm going to wait until my teammate's revive is available. And we're going to be in the Barrier Colossus. We're actually not going to kill the Barrier Hobgoblin quite yet, though. Like I said, if you don't have your supers yet at this point, you definitely want all 3 teammates to have their supers. what you can do is you can plink away at the barrier hobgoblin. Very, very, you know, gingerly. And then once he gets a little weak, you can intentionally let him regen his HP. You can let his shield come back up. So I'm going to have my teammates just completely leave him be. I mean, you can poke at him for a little bit. But now the shields, we're going to let him regen all the way. And you basically have a target dummy that you can use to get your super energy on by shooting him. So now we're going to let him come back up. HP is going to go all the way back up. And so you can literally use him. So like, as you can see, Dusty does have super, indicated by his Guardian rank icon glowing yellow. And TJ just got his. So now I know all three of us have super. So now I know we're good to go ahead and blast him. But you can kind of, you can use him as super fuel and let him regen. Then it's boss time. We're going to pop our prismatic. Everyone's going to pop their supers. Everyone's going to shoot their rockets. I like to play this pillar right here because he does end up shooting. And that's it. It's that instant. That quick. So that's how you take care of Grandmaster Warden of Nothing. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I intend to continue making guide videos for all the GMs, so hopefully you can get Gilded Conqueror very easily by following all the guides on my channel. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks to TJ and Dusty for helping me out with the run. And thank you so much for watching. And as always, have a great day.